Okay. Good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Miles and Coffee. I am Beverly, yours truly, and I am here for another coffee talk. And you're seeing this in May because May is my birthday month. So I thought that this would be a great month to highlight all the people in my family because we have so many talented people. And so with me is a wonderful cousin who happens to have a wonderful name and she loves coffee. So I would like to introduce to you my cousin, Beverly. Beverly, welcome to Miles and Coffee.
Hello, everybody. Yes, you know, the Beverlys, they have to hang together. And with the coffee, girl, we could be twins.
We should be, we are clink. I
Yes.
say I will drink to that. We
Yes.
are twins in so many ways than one. I have always admired you from afar. You know, I'm a follower on Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And girl, I have to say congratulations, Beverly. Your book is absolutely fabulous. Okay, first off. So I have the Kindle copy, so I won't have your signature, but it's okay. I got the interview.
Yes.
So we'll go with that.
Okay.
But listen, I'd like for you to start by telling us where you are from, Beverly, and then your mission.
Okay. I am broadcasting today from Madison, Alabama. That's like 3 blocks away from Huntsville, Alabama. You know, I'm down here in the dirty South, so everything is close together where they got a church on every corner and across the street. So that's where I am from.
Excellent. I love the way you put that, the dirty South, honey. You know, I understand that.
Yes, yes.
So Beverly, what is your mission?
Girl, my mission is to be an example for people. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from riches. I had 2 parents who didn't finish school, but that didn't stop me because my mission is to show people that the only thing that can stop or pause your dream or your journey is you. Everything that you need to be successful, you were born with. So I like to be an example to show people that not only to say, if I can do it, you can, but I want to show you what steps I took to live my best life.
Oh my goodness, that right there. You know, as we get older, we start understanding needs versus wants and what's important. And it really is about giving ourselves permission to live our best life. So now I want to ask you about the business that you have created to actually do that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I actually have 2 businesses. One is mostly where we deal with children, we service children, and we help them to find their voice. It's called Every Child Has a Story. It's a nonprofit. And we help children find their voice in many ways, orally by learning how to speak in front of a group of 1 or 1,000 with confidence so that they can actually put complete sentences together and have an audience that listens to them. And we also teach them how to put their thoughts and dreams and ideas into word form, where they can either write a book about whatever is on their mind, their dreams, their desires, or they could start a business because we have some mini moguls under our nonprofit umbrella, 27 as a matter of fact, and 14 in Raleigh, North Carolina, which I'm going to visit with them at the end of the month for their business fair. But the other business is also, I figured, well, if I'm doing it for children, there are so many grownups out there who missed out, either because their parents didn't know or they just didn't get it. And so I do the same thing with my publishing company, Writers Concierge. It's a concierge publishing company where we will do everything you need to do, or we will do the things you don't want to do. The most important thing is to get your book in front of whomever you're supposed to get it in front of. I think about books as like a spiritual assignment. When we go through things and we get through that thing to the other side, there are a lot of life lessons that we picked up along the way. Now, you can't stop a person from going through hard times, but you can give them examples of what they can be doing while going through hard times so that they can get through them to the next mountain. So I help adult authors write their manuscripts and publish their manuscripts. Girl, as a matter of fact, I just published 9 youth authors on Amazon this morning, ages, you ready for this? 3 to 5 years old.
What?
Yes.
Oh my.
These babies have ideas. See, I want you to know they come here thinking, they come here with ideas, they come here with dreams, and our job as parents is to nurture every one of them, not mold them, but to nurture them. And if you give children a chance, they will shine so bright, you're gonna need sunglasses.
That is, Beverly, that's near and dear to my heart because you were one of the first ones when I taught in the bricks and mortar back in the States. I'm online now, but back when my students were doing a writing and they did an essay and actually were highlighted in the news for the writing of their mock courtroom experience of Solomon Northup's story. And they decided they wanted to hold a trial. I said, that involves writing. I need a prosecuting attorney and I need a defense attorney. They said, no problem. And
I remember that. That was amazing to me.
You were one of the first vocal people. And that's how I found out that this was part of your mission as well. But congratulations, because empowering children, like you say, when you start early, that gives them a voice. But your second business, Writers Concierge, we're going to contact you about that, okay? Because
I'll be right here. That's what I love doing.
And we, for those who are listening, remember here, I have no problem sharing and celebrating others because there's room for everybody to shine. As Beverly just said, I will leave her contact information in the description for you to contact her for those of you that are so inclined. Okay, so let's continue. This is so exciting. What is your target audience? You just told us children and adults. Are there any other people that you're trying to reach?
Entrepreneurs, people who are working a 9-to-5, but know that that's not what they really want to do, to create an exit plan so that you don't just drop everything and then have to rush back because you can't make ends meet. My audience is broad. Anybody who has a dream, anybody who used to dream but aren't dreaming anymore, anybody breathing and living on the planet Earth. My audience is anything, everybody and everywhere.
Okay, you have such a broad audience because your gifts are needed. People need encouragement. And everyone has a story. Wouldn't you say, Beverly?
Yes, because when I named my nonprofit, every child has a story that came directly from God in prayer. Every child, a child of God, every child has a story. Sometimes they're great stories, sometimes they're happy stories, but sometimes they're sad stories and struggle type stories. But if you can get them out of you and on paper, you purged, and now you're free to learn the life lessons that those things were supposed to bring to you.
Oh, wow. That is such a good point, that when you write, you are really purging. That's when you reveal the lesson.
Yes, because sometimes you can't share verbally with friends your struggles, but if you wrote it down, you're not only getting it out of you, but you're sharing it with God, who allows you to see the lesson he's trying to teach you.
Ooh. This is such my language. I hope they're listening. So your latest book, as you can see, mine is on my phone and on my iPad, but I'm using my iPad. So your latest book is Outside the Lines.
Yes.
Be You. It says, be you, it works out better that way.
Yes.
What prompted you to write that particular book?
I see so many people working inside the box that society has created for them and struggling. You're struggling because you're creative and you weren't supposed to be in the box. But you have to
Ooh.
have courage to get out of it or to draw and create outside the lines that society has drawn for you. Who are they to draw your lines? God gave you the assignment. He has already told you what to do. Step out fearlessly because he never leaves you.
See,
Outside the lines is important. I try not to be normal. I'm not a normal individual. And when someone says, girl, you're so normal, I've never been normal and I don't want to be normal because we're created with this unique DNA, right? So
yes.
we're not like everybody else. So why do we want to fit in? Your DNA says you're different. Be you, be different. The world needs it.
So you said you're struggling because you're inside the lines someone else created for you.
Yes. And you don't belong there.
And I can relate to that. So you wrote, I'm just paraphrasing now. I took a couple of quotes out and then I want you to elaborate. You wrote, and I'm looking down because I've got notes. Okay. We're encouraged from the time we are small to act in ways that fit in with everyone else. Can you expound on that, please?
Think about a baby. You have a little boy who honestly doesn't know anything about girl and boy, doesn't even know that they are a girl or a boy. And the little boy is playing with a doll. Parents will remove that doll from that baby's hands and give him a truck. Now, why? That doesn't mean that the child is going to grow up like a girl. It just means that he found something that was interesting in that doll that he wanted to play with. We're always trying to conform and mold our children. A child who's left-handed, what happens? You know, our society will take that pen out of that baby's left hand and force him to write with his right hand. Why? That doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
We're constantly trying to make our children fit in and not stand out. There's fear behind standing out, but you have to be courageous because everything God has for you is dependent upon how you stand out.
Okay, now see, that could be another topic within itself because every individual in the Bible has a quality that makes them stand out. And know that all of them are not perfect.
That's right.
They all stand out.
Yes, they do. And so we're hindering that. We have a tendency to hinder. Society has made us become conformative. I just don't like the word. I mean, I don't want you telling me who I'm supposed to be because I can always flip it and just be somebody else on purpose. You don't get to tell me how I'm supposed to think or how I'm supposed to feel because I'm the only one who knows that. So don't mold your children, nurture your children. That's what I want to see.
Excellent. That's such good advice. That is such good advice. So now it says, you describe the so-called milestones, I'm putting those in air quotes, of society. And you called it a game that people play. What are some possible problems related to these milestones, Beverly?
One really big one that I experienced for my working years, I used to work for the Department of the Army, and it's a man's department. It's just all ran by men. There are some women, but they've conformed. That's why they're in these top positions. And to be doing an exceptional job because you told me I was, and training new people coming in because you asked me to do that, I'm still being paid less than a man who has the same title that I do. That's the problem. That is the issue right there. Society does that to us, and they've always done that to us. Women don't make the same money equally as men do. Unless, of course, you're willing to stand up, and then, you get called other names. Something must be wrong with you. You can't just be assertive. Something is wrong with you. So that's one of those milestones that hinder our growth. We have to be able to see what they are and acknowledge what they're doing. Because some people are doing it and they may not necessarily know why, but because they've been doing it for years, and the people before them that influenced them have been doing it for years. It's part of a system that really can ruin your journey in life.
Okay, let's talk about those milestones, like kindergarten, graduation, your first job.
Yeah.
First home. And on this channel, whether or not to retire or to sell your home or to travel, let's talk about our age groups and the milestones that can put you in a box.
Yeah, because, okay, I'm a grandmother, but I'm not a rocking chair sitting grandmother. I mean, I'm really active, but I think because I'm active, sometimes I'm not an example to be followed by others who think because I have retired, I'm just supposed to be sitting down rocking in my little rocking chair, watching The Price is Right. I'm supposed to fit into whatever that thing is that grandparents are supposed to be. That is not who I am. This is that time of my life where all of my 3 sons are grown and on their own. This is that time of my life now where I don't have to focus on my children. I can focus on myself, and I want to travel, and I want to do things that I've never done before. So we get that. It's like, why would you want to go on a cruise? Because I've never been on one. Well, what if something happens? Something could happen at home.
Something could happen at home.
Yes. But that's what I think is one of the things that hinder people, especially our age. People who, I admire what you've done. I wish I could be an expat. I truly wish I could.
Wow.
But I still have a spouse that won't get on a boat. So anyway.
Well, see, I don't have a spouse, I don't have children, but let's go back to that. You said, focus on you. That I'm going back to the title, Outside the Lines.
Yes.
What would you say to people that say, oh, that's selfish?
If that's what they're thinking, you have lived a life that was selfless, not selfish. You have always
stop. Let's go back. I want people to hear that. That's why I'm interrupted. You have lived a life that is selfless.
Yes.
Please expand on that.
Putting everybody and their brother in front of your own personal needs. Doing without, making sacrifices mothers do all the time, okay? But you don't sacrifice you. They don't understand that it's like you have this cup and the cup is full, and then you start to have children and you start to pour out of that cup into your children. But what happens when your cup is empty and you can't give to anybody? That's why self-care and self-love is important. It's nothing selfish about that. You're taking care of yourself so that you are able to do for others, especially if that's what makes you happy. Yes. Sometimes you have to say no to people, and sometimes you have to pause the world and just sit back and do something comforting for yourself. It's like we wear a crown that says, I gave up everything for my children. Why? Why did you give up everything? Because now you have nothing to give to them. And what's probably going to happen? They're going to be living their lives, enjoying their lives, doing what they want to do because you've allowed them to do that. And you're going to be isolated and alone, sitting in that rocking chair watching The Price is Right.
Ooh, that is so good. There is a saying, so I got to do it because everybody has heard this at least once. When mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. That's because mama has given everything to others and not left anything for herself.
Yeah, her happiness wasn't important anymore. She decided she didn't need it, but that wasn't a good decision because that leads to regret and anger as you get older. Because you're saying to yourself, I gave them everything. Where are they? Why can't they check on me? Why can't? Because you didn't tell them they had to do that.
Wow. Now that is a word. See, giving out and not replenishing that cup.
Yeah. Yeah. You empty. And miserable. Empty and miserable. Yes.
And when you get to a certain age, you should be rewarding yourself by enjoying the fruit of your labor. And that comes with giving yourself permission. Thank you for saying you admire what I do, but I'm not retired, Beverly, yet.
I know.
I work a different way, but
Yes.
I gave myself permission to travel and do things differently.
Yes.
I had to jump out. Oh my goodness, I'm trying not to have a moment here. I'm the oldest out of 6. I had to give myself permission to get out of the box that was defined for me by my family. Yeah. And now they get it. After the fact, they get it.
Yeah, yeah. I have family members who question why I'm running 2 big businesses. Why are you even, you working and you retired, but what you don't understand is I worked a 9 to 5 to pay bills and send my kids through college. Now I'm doing something that I love, something I feel is the assignment that God gave to me. So you get exhausted, but you're filled up every day. As the cup overflows, you get more back. And they don't understand that. I can't believe you're working. Are you working? It's like, yes, I am. I'm working on my assignment. You need to figure out what yours is and get busy.
And get busy on your assignment, not the job.
Right.
That's different. So you've created these businesses, quote unquote, in retirement, and people are looking at you like, why?
Yes, you're supposed to be sitting down, enjoying yourself. Sitting down is not enjoyment to me. I have to move. I have to do things. I'm an extrovert, so I can't just lock myself inside. I'll go crazy. I need the energy from other people that I reach out to, that reach out to me. That's who I am. And a day without that is a sick day for me. I must be sick. I just know I must be ill because I have to be around other people. That's just my personality. And I can accept that.
And you know what? See, that's the thing. It starts with knowing who you are. You beautifully described an extrovert. I'm the opposite. When I'm around people, which I get paid to do, whether I'm on the computer, online, or in person, presenting for classes, that's taking all my energy out. So some people think, are you hyper? No, I'm in my gift right now. Yes. But when I need my energy back, I have to do that alone. I have to debrief alone, journaling, or just getting quiet and going within. That it doesn't mean that we don't like people. It just means that takes our energy. And to get my energy back, I'm alone. To get your energy back, you need that interaction with people. That's how you rebuild your energy. Yes. You said that beautifully. Now, I want to ask you something else. Your book beautifully outlined a possible action plan to follow in order to figure out what is best for you, what your action is, or what to do next. Let's speak on this. Choose the life you want and take a reality check and create options. I'm going to repeat that because I'm going to put this in the description. Number 1, choose the life you want, take a reality check, and create options. Let's start with choose the life you want. You started on that.
Yes, choose the life you want. Now, most of us, it's easy to describe the life you want without choosing.
Oh.
It's really easy because you see it as something that you will never get to actually to live. So if someone said, girl, what kind of life would you want? I can tell you quickly, I want a life where I got a nice car, I got a nice house, I can travel, we got plenty of money, I don't have to worry about the bills. And then you say, well, do you see yourself doing that? No. Oh, we all know the life we want, but we have to also see ourselves living that life. And that brings us to your second topic, because if you don't do a reality check, and a reality check means you sit yourself down in front of a mirror and you ask yourself, you want this, but what's stopping you? Why can't you get it? You don't have, your job doesn't pay enough, get another job. Get 2 jobs. Do you really want this? Do you want a life where you have a nice house? Then baby, that's gonna cost money. And that means money comes from actions. And that means you need to describe what actions you need to take in order to increase your dollar values and be able to buy this house. So you have to be real with yourself. I suggest you do it in the bathroom, right in front of the mirror with the door closed, because ain't nobody gonna see what you're doing, and you ain't got to worry about anybody hearing you. Turn the water on if you want to, but you got to sit yourself down and be real with yourself. If you can't be real with you, you'll never be real with anybody.
Oh boy, that is so good. Reality check. Be real with yourself.
Yeah. Talk about the things that you did that didn't work out and why they didn't work out, or the times that you started something but gave up too soon. You got to know who you are and how you perform in order to change those bad habits. And it's okay. Trust me, God is sitting in that bathroom with you. He already knows these things. You're not hiding it from him. But you're now acknowledging that you accept that that's the truth about you, and those are the things you need to change.
But that leads to number 3. You said create options. Does that mean that there's going to be some mistakes along the way?
There's always mistakes along the way because we're not perfect people. And God understands that better than we do sometimes. We always want things to be perfect before we move. You heard people say, girl, when I retire, I'm going to take a trip to London. Why you can't take the trip now?
Why can't you take the trip? Take it now.
You're assuming that you're going to still be here at retirement age. You get hit by a truck going outside. You don't know. Why are you putting things off? And why are you not making plans to do these things? Time has never been on our side. The only thing we're sure of is when we're born that we will die. The time in between is your living and learning time. And you're supposed to energetically pursue that every single day. So you have to make choices. You have to acknowledge, I didn't do this right. What could I have done better? Now I'm going to do it this way and see, because it's all about trial and error. Just because it doesn't work the first time does not mean it's not going to work. The best thing about failure is that you automatically know what did not work, so you don't have to do that again.
Right. And like you say, why not now? Because during this pandemic, we learned that things change and that tomorrow is not promised.
And they change fast.
And they change fast, especially at our age. Days, go faster. So we're waiting on something when actually the time might be now. But like you say, it takes planning. And I want to add something to your list. Choose the life you want. Take reality check, which means be honest with yourself. Create options and write it down.
Yes, writing it down lets your brain know that you are serious about it. It's like a mental commitment to actually follow through. I believe in writing everything down and place it where you can see it on a regular basis. Like when you're in this point where things don't seem like they're going right, go back to your list and look at the things that you've recovered and done better. You have to celebrate your wins when they happen, even if they're small, because they're the ones that get you through when you're stuck.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Go back to your list. And you said celebrate small things. Give us some ideas of things we can do. We're not talking about go and have a big party, but what are some small milestone celebrations?
Maybe you decided you were going to drink 8 glasses of water a day. And you have not hit that target for a week. And then all of a sudden, you hit the target. Celebrate it. Celebrate it, because that's your motivation to continue to hit that target. Little bitty things like drinking 8 glasses a day. Or maybe you decided you're going to limit the amount of coffee that you drink from 4 cups a day to 2. And you finally hit that target. Now, limiting your coffee may be a small thing. It's not buying a house. It's not buying a car. But you set a goal and you did realize it. And so you deserve celebration. Celebration does not have to be breaking a rule. Like if you say you're not going to eat chocolate, when you don't eat the chocolate, you go grab a piece of chocolate to celebrate. Now, don't be crazy like that. Because we are devious. We be trying to get our stuff. But celebrate in a way where, I don't know, you turn on some music and you dance around the house and you sing, or you go out to the park and you take a nice brisk walk, or you go shopping without your purse. I do that all the time because I don't want to spend a lot of money. So if I'm shopping and I see nice things, I must admire them, but I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to buy them because I didn't bring my purse with me. So just find some kind of way that you can celebrate. Something maybe you've been putting off doing for yourself that now you should do for yourself. Get your nails done. Get a manicure or a facial or a massage. Do something for you. You're filling that cup back up.
You're filling your cup back up without paying, because I like the way you said shopping without the purse, because you can admire it and just admire and put it on a list in the back. But again, needs versus want. I don't need it. One day I want that.
Yes,
you know,
it's cute now, but no, girl, you're not going to take it anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So don't buy that dress.
Oh, wow. This is such rich, because again, just giving ourselves permission to think outside the lines that are defined by others, and creating our own lines. And if we color outside the box, it's okay. Beverly, what advice would you have for someone who may be facing retirement and they really can't figure out what to do next? That, you know, we're talking to people of a certain age, or maybe younger people that are looking to retire one day. What advice would you have?
Find something that you're passionate about or you've always liked. Look back to your childhood with things you did. Maybe you used to like to make jewelry or something like that, and that was exciting for you. And now that you're older, you've come across several different types of jewelry and you may want to design. Maybe you want to be a decorator. Maybe you've always had a flair for decorating a room, and people have said to you, girl, this is really beautiful. Look for those kind of comments from people, because sometimes we don't really know what our assignment is or what our gift is until someone else comments on it.
Oh,
what is it that you would do even if you was tired, you know, for free? What is it that you would do for free without charging anybody? Your gift or your excitement of life may be wrapped up in that. I tried a lot of stuff when I retired. I was a jewelry maker. I was an abstract painter. I still do that. I was doing all kinds of stuff. And I know God must have been up there laughing. Look at this girl. That's not what she's supposed to be doing, but I'm gonna just let her go and make them earrings, you know, because it's helping her. But everything that I touched and everything that I tried was a way of showing me where I was headed toward my assignment. I wasn't quite there, but it all pushed me into what I'm doing right now. And I love talking to people. I love writing books. I've written about 27 books already. And I journal every day. I've been journaling since I was 9 years old. So I have 87 journals that I have in a big old suitcase that I keep to reflect on, to show me the struggles and the problems and the issues that I had and the celebrations. So it's like I can look back over my entire life growing up of all the things I've gone through, and I did that. So I think you need to settle down, always ask God to come into that with you, and he'll show you the things. He'll show you things you get excited about. Go window shopping. Go to the mall and walk around. Sometimes your ideas will come there. But don't sit and decide that I don't know what I'm going to do and I'm just not going to do anything. You're going to be miserable, because we weren't meant to do nothing. We were meant to do something.
We all need something to do. And I agree with you. You know, I always ask people, what would you do if money was no issue? That's why I continue giving back online by, you know, I'm like you, I can't sit around. I love encouraging people that are trying to learn English. And it seems like you have kept a journal like me, because writing and reflecting go hand in hand.
Yes.
And it becomes a law when we put it on paper, and we can go back and say, oh, that happened. That happened. So, wow, it's just there was a study, I believe it was a Harvard study, that said those people that write their goals achieve them 90% of the time. And
Yes.
9 times out of 10 than the people that say it but didn't write it down, because it will become a law when you write it.
Yeah, yeah. And goal setting is another thing I love to do with people, because it's more than I'm going to lose weight this year. Okay, how much are you going to lose? And how much do you think you're going to lose in a month? And what are you going to change about what you're doing now that's going to enable you to lose that weight in a month? You know, you have to break it down and go deep dig into it, because if you just say I'm going to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight.
No,
you're not.
that's
you just
too abstract.
Yes, that's too abstract. You got to have step by step what you want to do. And you have to think it that way. So as long as you're writing it down, your brain is triggered. This is important to her. She's writing it down, and it's going to keep giving that back to you and reminding you over and over again. So write everything down.
Write everything down. Would you suggest that someone also maybe choose, you can't tell everybody, but maybe one accountability partner, someone that shares your dream and can encourage you, but you can't tell everybody. I've learned that.
Yeah, I do encourage that, but sometimes selecting the person is very difficult, because you bring your own baggage into that selection. In other words, maybe this is somebody that you really admire, somebody that you really like, and you think that they feel the same way about you, but maybe they don't have the time to feel that excitement that you feel for them. And they may not be the right choice. If you're working with somebody who is actually trying to achieve the same type of goal that you have, then that's what you need to do. Find somebody who's working, doing something you're trying to achieve. Or better yet, someone who has already fulfilled that goal.
Find someone who has already done or has completed where you're going. That's good.
Yes, yes, because they have pointers. Now, they may not have the time to be hand holding with you, but they can give you tips, and those tips are important, because you see, they lived through it and they're giving you what they picked up, and you want to be able to look out for that for you. So yes, I agree. You should have somebody to be accountable for you.
I agree, because you can learn from other people's mistakes and listen to what they did in process.
Yeah.
So that's what I did basically. When I was in my little RV, I would dream one day I will be living abroad, and every day after work, that's what I did to dream, is I would look and watch these people and follow them and take notes. And it happened sooner than I thought. So that was good.
Yeah, but don't get the attitude. You know how sometimes you talk about your struggle and someone else has a struggle similar to yours, but it was horrible. It was worse than yours. And you think that that's not going to happen to me, because, it's just not going to happen to me. We all had that attitude coming up. Your parents try to tell you what not to do, and you go, well, that ain't going to happen to me. Well, probably happened to you because you wasn't listening and picking up the tips that the person gave you. It's like they're telling you the mile markers. Don't run this way, that there's a cliff ahead, but you're still running because you don't believe there's a cliff, or if there is one, you will survive. And then what you do, you run off the cliff, and while you down there, you thinking, why they didn't tell me? Baby, they told you. But you didn't want to hear it. And we can be stubborn sometimes because we don't like it when people tell us what we should be looking out for. Then don't go and ask the people if you don't want to know.
So that's another step, because right now I am listening. I read your words, and now I get to listen to your wisdom. And that goes a long way, but even at our age, listening is so valuable.
Yeah. I listened to all of my elders coming up. I was the one, because I'm the griot in the family, which means I am the storyteller. I tell the stories of my family's history. And my grandmother was that way, and my aunt also. And so whenever they would start talking, you didn't have to look where I was. I was probably sitting on the floor right next to them, listening to everything they said. I believe that art right there is passing. People don't want to hear what older people have to say. we've lived longer than them and we do have the knowledge, but we're not trying to force it on you. If you don't want the knowledge, then that's fine with me. I'll share it with people who do. But we knew our elders were wiser than us, and we might not
Yes,
have liked what they had to say, but as we grew older, we did realize that they were telling us the absolute truth.
that's
Young
exactly right.
people don't listen. The young people don't listen. I mean, they see this gray hair and it's like, oh, that's an old woman. I'm grateful to have lived this long. I hope you make it too.
Well, see, that's the one thing I can attest to about young people. One, they're very honest, but number two, oh, the younger they are, they think they know everything. And then when you get our age, the more you know, the more you understand, the less you know. You know,
Yeah.
the older you get, you realize, oh, there's so much to learn. And I'm still in learning mode. You know, I'm living abroad, but I'm learning abroad. I'm
Yes.
learning a new language and new cultures. And it keeps you young by
It
learning.
does. Yes, and you feel connected to the world. You know, I know people who have never left their hometown, never left the front porch rocking. I'm serious. And I go back home. I'm from Alabama, so I go back home like to Birmingham, and it's weird because I tell my husband, this is so strange for me. I go there and I go by these other people's houses, and the last time I saw them, they was wearing an outfit that looks just like the outfit they had the last time I saw them, and they still sitting in that chair and they still talking about the same things. And I'm like, baby, you need to leave town. There's a life out there. Your life is just right there in that little small house, and all you know is what people tell you. You haven't experienced any of it.
There's so many experiences. And Beverly, thank you for sharing just some of yours, because like I said, this could go on, but I want you, how can people find you in your projects, in your businesses? Okay, of course, you will send me the links and I will put them, but I want you to tell people, how can they find you online?
Okay. Well, for the nonprofit, it's everychildhasastory.org. And the website will show you everything that we do, and even the dream things that we're thinking about doing. We want to start a school. All of that's on the website. And as for the adult writing programs, you can get those at writersconcierge.com.
Okay, so everychildhasastory.org and
Yes.
Writers Concierge.
Yes.
Now I understand that. I saw that and I was like, that sounds interesting. Wow, this has been fulfilling on so many levels. And now I know why your name is Beverly.
Yes, girl. Look, let me just throw a treat out there. So when my mother is from Trinidad, by way of Nigeria.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And so my mother was always the odd one out in the community. You know, she always dressed up to go to the store with her little gloves on and her little purse on her wrist. And she would dress us up too. That was my mom. But people in the neighborhood called her princess. And I thought that was really cute. To that day, my mama told me that is not a compliment. They didn't mean it as a compliment. But listen, names are important. They were really important to my mother. So she gave me the names of those strong women in our family. I think she must have known I was going to be the storyteller. So my name is Beverly Joyce, Anna Grace, Catherine Elizabeth. I know, right? Yes, girl. I was like, Mama. She only did that with my name. She did not name my sisters long names. And it took a long time for me to realize the importance of those women. And one day when my mother was quite older and she was going through dementia, she sat me down because she thought I was someone else. And she finally told me the story of those women. And I have the characteristics and personalities of each one of them. The Beverly came from Beverly Cleary. Remember her?
Yes, a writer.
Yes.
Come
on. A writer of children's books, whatever.
Yes.
And she used to read that story to us And she liked it. She liked her and she loved the name. So Beverly came from that. Joyce was because I brought her joy, she said, when I was born. And then the other 4 names were my great, great, great aunts. And they all did amazing things, things that I would do in the future. So I thought that was kind of cool that my mother had that kind of insight as to who I was, because my father said, we didn't think you was going to have a name. And I remember saying, why? He said, because your mama wouldn't let us name you for almost a month. She used to lay me on the bed and just watch me. I'm like, okay, but she did a good job because I am all of those women. And I pulled in the strengths that they had and the experiences that they shared to move me toward my future journey. So I lean on my ancestors. I lean heavily on them females because they were strong. Plus they lived long.
Yeah, well, you know, that is interesting. Names are important. And I guess since we're sharing, Beverly, I'm not sure, but I know that my middle name, my grandmother is Alice, and I added the L. It's actually on my birth certificate, Beverly Elise. And that's after my grandmother. And I'm adventurous like her. And she was also a nomad. She liked to move around a lot.
Yeah.
She didn't want to stay in the same place long. And she was very adventurous. She went back to school later in life to kind of show us she was a trailblazer. If I can do it, you can do it. So that kind of stays with me. And it does make a difference, those names, because you do take on those characteristics.
Girl, names are important. So, you know, when you think about naming your baby, don't be naming that baby Volkswagen. Don't do that, please.
Or after a wine bottle.
I know, girl. Chardonnay.
Be careful with that.
Yeah, be careful what you're doing.
So we have to be intentional about everything, thinking outside the lines, even for naming ourselves and our businesses and our experiences, because names have importance.
They do. They do. And they have power just because they're words.
Because they're words. Well, listen, you are a wordsmith. You are actually a linguist. I'm going to call you that. And you are a prolific author. I look forward to reading more of your books. I have to give you a heartfelt thank you, Beverly, for taking your time to share with us today. And maybe in the future, we'll have to come back after I read another book. But this has been an honor and a pleasure. I'm going to give you the last word.
Ooh, well, I'm going to continue to write because I'm a ninja when it comes to writing. I've got 13 books that I've written that I still need to publish. And I haven't because I forgot I had 13 books I still needed to publish. But I just say it's not time yet. God will let me know. He'll nudge me and say, okay, this one need to come out now. So I am working on one about the imposter syndrome, because that seems to be a problem for a lot of us, you know, thinking we don't deserve certain things. So I'm going to be working on that one. That's probably going to be the next book coming out.
Okay, well, I'll write that down because that one I'm going to put down as a future topic, imposter syndrome. That I want to hear more about that. Girl, listen, we're going to wrap this up. So it's just under an hour. This has been a pleasure. I want you to continue to enjoy your coffee.
Girl, my coffee always going to be close.
And milers, please look in the comment section. Tell us, what did you enjoy, or what is your takeaway? What is your action plan? What do you promise to give yourself permission to do? And I'm going to ask a challenge within the next 30 days. What can you do for you? Take Beverly's advice and look for her information in the comment section. Thank you. And we know we always end this by saying, take it one day at a time and keep it simple, my friends. Until next time on Miles and Coffee.